Mercy? And I loved in this book that the other characters have finally caught on to Mercy never being able to be held as a prisoner. Coming off Fire Touched, a book I didn't really like, I had slightly lower expectations for this book, but this book knocked those expectations out of the park. It wasn't perfect, and I will explain why. I'm starting to think about the Mercy Thompson books I've liked the best, and they're all the ones that have really thrown Mercy out of her comfort zone and experimented with new things for her to battle. And this one certainly did that. This book did a great job at showing off Mercy's resourcefulness and her ability to get into trouble no matter how much she shouldn't. Because in this book, Mercy is kidnapped by vampires and whisked away to their den in Europe. As we've discussed earlier, when Mercy gets kidnapped, she gets herself out. And as soon as she was kidnapped, I was like, how many chapters is she going to take to break herself out? It turns out she's captured for like less than a scene. And then she's never recaptured by the vampires. It's just like, go Mercy! And I loved in this book that the other characters have finally caught on to Mercy never being able to be held as a prisoner. Because whenever someone was told like, oh, Mercy was kidnapped, they'd always respond like, oh, well, those kidnappers better watch out. She might just burn down their entire house. Yes, the kidnappers should watch out. I was about to say thankfully Mercy didn't kill the vampires, but that wouldn't have been a bad thing. Mercy actually gets kidnapped twice in this book. Once she gets herself completely out and into another country, and the second time she doesn't actually get herself out, but she does kill all of her captors, and all she needs is someone to come and unlock her cage door. That's right, she got them all killed while she was trapped in a cage. Go Mercy! And I thought it was really interesting how Mercy was kidnapped because she was identified as the ruler of the tri-state area. And it's true that Mercy has been growing in a lot of power, mostly politically, and I am excited to see where that goes because in this book, it not only shines a light on how much political power she has, it also shows us the slow increase of her control over ghosts and maybe also vampires. And I can definitely see that going somewhere. Hopefully, I'm not sure where my faith is right now in these books, somewhere in the middle of strong and weak, you know? Because Mercy is kidnapped and her plotline is separated from Adam, her werewolf husband, for most of this book, there are Adam point of view chapters. And just like last time there were Adam point of view chapters, I felt that they were fun, but not as awesome as they could have been. Because what did this really tell us about Adam? That he almost lost his mind with anger and worry when Mercy was kidnapped? Well, we already knew that. Honestly, I think it would have been more impactful if we had just had Mercy's speculations about what Adam was up to, combined with maybe some dreams and flashes through their psychic bond of how he was feeling, because it was so intense. And I think that would have made more suspense, because you don't know what Adam is going to do, and then we can milk some feeling out of that. But then the way it was with Adam point of view chapters, I like them, I enjoy them, but they don't add much to the overall story, except this one does give us a new plotline, which is the vampire politics. But it wasn't super interesting. And I cannot get over that one of the members of Adam's quest team, who went by Matt Smith, turned out to be the head honcho werewolf in disguise. And we didn't figure out it was him till the end of the book, even though all the characters obviously knew looking back, because they all recognized him. I wish we had known sooner, because that would have been interesting, because as is, I didn't really care about this new werewolf until I found out he was actually the werewolf I already cared about, which made it way more interesting. And I feel like they were going for the shock value of, surprise, he was the head honcho werewolf in disguise the entire time. And that was good and shocking, but I would have appreciated more, something to help us better understand what he was feeling and why he was going on this quest undercover. Because he had a lot of feelings there, because he was doing it for Mercy, because he cares about her so much. And I would have loved to get an insight into his mind, rather than Adam's, which I feel like I already know backwards and front. Okay, little nitpick thing. Before all the chapters in this book, there are little notes from Mercy trying to help you keep the timeline between her adventures and Adam's adventures straight in your head. These little notes only made me more confused about the timeline, because every time I read one of them, I was like trying to puzzle it out of my head, and I would reread it, and I would take 5 seconds and be like, okay, that's on day 3, and this is on day 2, got it. But then in the end, I didn't actually have to know how they sunk up. when the two plot lines actually intersected, it was always obvious how they were intersecting. I feel like these notes were probably added afterwards, after some beta readers complained, like, we don't know what's going on and when is first and when is second. But then you don't actually have to know what is happening first and what is happening second. They're two separate plot lines, and then when they intersect, it's pretty easy to figure it out.